Welcome everybody, Larry the Pen Bug Guy, and welcome back to Larry's Fountain Pens, and I'm fired up today. Oh heck, I'm fired up every day, right? Sick, no sick, what the heck, I don't care. So, today, don't go away, don't even think about it, stay right where you're at. If you're a thinker or a newbie, this is for you guys. Or if you're one of those pen enthusiast or a know-it-all pen person, this is for you. Okay, so again, I'm gonna describe a thinker because you know some people think thinkers are newbies. No, they're not. Thinkers are not newbies. Thinkers are not fountain pen people at all. They're just what I call it, thinkers. They think about, should I get into a fountain pen or not? Why should I get into fountain pens? What's so good about a fountain pen? I like my ballpoint pen. I like my roller ball pen. I like my gel pens. I like my pencils or crayons, whatever it may be. That's who thinkers are. They're thinking about fountain pens, but just not really sure, should they or shouldn't they? It's still in their mind, and it kind of just stays in their mind because they've been thinking about it and aren't thinking about it and curious. Well, like everybody else, you know, I don't want to spend a lot of money to get into something that I may not like off the bat or I may not like down the road, and then I waste all that money on a fountain pen and ink, etc., etc., etc. So, what should I do? How should I do this? So they're thinkers, so I'm going to set them aside now. Now I'm going to go into newbies. Newbies that have already crossed a line from thinking into fountain pens. Now you're in fountain pens. Hello all you newbies. Welcome to Larry's Fountain Pens. You already crossed that line, and you already made the decision that you want to try fountain pens and hopefully stay into fountain pens. So, there are so many fountain pens out there, just a variety of fountain pens. And so many reviews of this and that, here and there, and this, get that, no, this is better, that's better, this writes smoother, this is a little bit scratchy, good feedback, no, this isn't too good. It just goes on and on. I know, been there, done that. It's a jungle out there. So, I'm no expert. I'm just like you guys. But my passion is for fountain pens. Oh, you can find a lot more reviewers smarter than I am. No, all like that. They got all the magic numbers of subscribers, and that's cool. Peace, love, that's great. Dynamite. I'm here for one thing. Fountain pens. I'm here for another thing. You guys. You guys are a lot like me, where I was when I first came into the fountain pen world. Got a lot of rejections, still do. So, I am going to suggest, my opinion only, I'm going to start off today with 3 fountain pens. I'm going to show you 3 fountain pens. I'm going to tell you how much they cost. And I'm going to do a little bit of writing. And I'm going to let you know what I think about it, which I have already. And then I'm going to show you how to turn a $4 pen with a $15, $18 investment and make a $22 pen a $50 to $100 pen, in my opinion. So, let's get on with it. And if you made it this far, you're dynamite. Okay, here you go. Alright, first of all, I want to start out with a Chinese pen. It's a demonstrator pen. And it's called the 008. I've done a review on it. It's a stationary pen, I think it's called. One that they call it mispronounced. I did get back with the seller to make sure it wasn't a wing song, and it's not. So, it may look like a wing song. It may look like a Echo or a Twisby or maybe even a more popular demonstrator like a Pelican, etc., etc. But it is just a Chinese fountain pen. And in my opinion, the color is really nice. It's really sharp fountain pen. It feels great in the hand. It writes really great. There's nothing about the pen I dislike. If you check out my review, you'll see. So, it's a screw-on cap. And right here is your piston knob where you can twist it, blah, 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 fill it up with ink. And it does real well when you fill it up with ink. I have had no problems with it. And this pen is a fine nib. And I have found out, for me, it writes towards more fine to medium. Now, everybody can say it's a true fine. They can say it's a medium. But for me, I can say it's more fine to medium. And this pen costs off eBay $2.04 on shipping. Great pen. Love it. The only drawback on this pen that I found, I have to wait like, what, 4 or 5 weeks to get it. But is it worth it? Heck yeah. So, I love the pen. Cool, cool. Now, here's a real popular pen. A one that every newbie and every pen enthusiast should get or should have. It's the Pilot Metropolitan. It's one cool fountain pen. And real quick, tell you how much I like it. I sold a few last year to buy other pens, which got stolen. Here's a few more because they come in different colors, a variety of colors. And on this one, I did change the nib out because Pilot did come out with a 1.0 stub nib, which is really cool. So, fun colors, great pens. Pilot rocks. I believe this pen cost me $15. And I got this pen off Goulet Pens. Really a nice pen, pull-off cap. Feels good in my hands. Not a heavy pen, not a small pen. You don't have to post it if you don't want. It's just a nice pen, but you can. And it's not back heavy or nothing. It's really nice. There, it's on its own, as you can see. So, and this little jewel, it really is a great pen. Has the converter in it. And it does come with a cartridge, I believe. On the converter, I'm not sure if they come with converters or not, I forgot. But the converters aren't expensive. And this one has a fine nib. And this one writes more true of a fine nib, the Japanese does, than the Chinese. And we'll get to more on that later. Now, here's a pen that I started off with, not this pen, but with a demonstrator. I'll show you where that little jewel is. One of my favorites, and I think I have it in one of my pen cases. I got a blue one and a red one. They're the plastic demonstrators. That's how I first started. So, I'm a big Jinhao fan myself. I wasn't really into black pens, but I've gotten into black pens. This is a nice looking pen. It has a little bit of weight. It's a metal pen. And it feels nice in my hand. I feel like I have a real fountain pen in my hand because it is a real fountain pen. But, it's not light. It's not heavy. It's just a feel-good fountain pen. One that is enjoyable to write with. Pull-off cap. And you can post it if you wish, but it's long enough without. And some might think it's too long for them, or it looks odd, but I could care less what people think, what I like or don't like. If I want to use it, post it, I will. If people want to talk about, hey, that guy looks weird, let them be. So, this pen comes with a converter. And how well, first of all, I'm ahead of myself. The nib is a medium nib, and they use number 6 nibs. The Jinhao 750s, the 450s, and the 159s come with number 6 nibs. And what I like about that is I can change nibs out. Friction fit means I can pull them out and pull another in. It's not hard. Boy, that's a story. That's another story of its own. When I first did my first friction pen nib, I was just totally scared to death about it. For real. I'm going to ruin the pen. I'll never get it out. I'll never get it in. Blah blah blah. So that's kind of its own story on its own. One day I might share it with you. And that story involves Goulet pens. Remember that. Goulet pens, friction fit nibs, and Larry's fountain pen. I think it's a funny one. So anyway, what I did was, when I heard about Goulet coming out with their nibs, they come out with those black ones, which I like. I bought one, and it has the Goulet nib on it, logo on it. They're Jobo nibs. So I did like the color black. Now, some of their black nibs, and you can listen to Brian Goulet tell you himself out of his own mouth that not all the nibs may look that dark, that black. Some of them may be a little bit lighter color. That's just how they came out. It's not Goulet's fault. It's just Goulet did talk to the people who makes the nibs, and they just said, well, that's just how they come out. So, but for 18 bucks, I think around 18 bucks, could have been less, I got this nib. Well, I bought, I think, 3 or 4 to test them out. Magnificent nib, and it really perked up this pen. I love it. Jinhao nibs are okay. They're fine, but they're not as well tuned, or, in my opinion, as other nibs are. But Goulet did a good job on this nib. I don't know if Brian Goulet had the team that checks each of the nibs to make sure they're smooth and not scratchy and they have a good flow. I'm not sure about that. Only Brian Goulet knows about that and his team. But all I can say, this is one to die for nib. It goes well with the pen. And the nib is, I love the nib. Great nib. In fact, this nib has to be, and this pen has to be in my daily rotation. I like it that much. How much is this pen? You can get it for $4. Some $3.50, and some sellers now sell it for $7.50. You can buy it in the States. Some sellers in the state will sell it for 10, 12 bucks, 13 bucks. It's a little bit high, yeah, but you don't have to have that long wait. But still, even at 13 bucks, 14 bucks, it's worth it. So, that's that. And I'm going to start off with a pen, a Metropolitan with a writing sample. And Mr. Announcer will hold the camera as close as he can. And first I want to thank Nomad the Wanderer. He sent me this bottle of L. Lawrence ink. And here's the color of it. Thank you, Wanderer. Nomad the Wanderer. Isn't that correct? Yeah. I was going to use it on, I'm waiting for my pen, I think it's a Diplomat Excellence. It's a 18K gold nib on it, but it won't be here till, I don't know, either next week or week after next. So I was dying to try this ink, and I'm loving this ink. And thanks a lot. Thank you, Mr. Nomad the Wanderer, for thinking about me. I appreciate it, man. So let's start off with this Metropolitan for Thinkers and Newbies. Pilot Metropolitan with a fine nib. Wetness. And you have some. You're not going to get a whole lot of wetness unless you want to make it wetter yourself. But it's got a good flow, a nice flow. The pen feels really good in the hand and it writes real well. And we'll do a few swirls here. And upside down. And it does get a real bit scratchy there. And that's about all I'm going to do with it, because it does get scratchy and hard to write, and I don't want to get my times out of line. But there are some pens that write really nice upside down. This one not so much, but it's one heck of a writer just to write with it the normal way. A great fountain pen. I love it. I really do like my Metropolitan fountain pens a lot. I really, really do. I'm not just saying it. So for 15 bucks, outstanding fountain pen. You can't go wrong. And if you like black ink, try the L. Lawrence. You'll like it. At least I like it. So that's number 1 pen. Okay. Now we're going to go with number 2 pen. And I believe I'm using the Robert Oyster Blue Water Ice, I believe it's called. So here we go with this pen. And I'm going to use it unposted, because you need to be careful on this knob. You can post it, but you don't want to twist it to make ink come out. So, and this one has the fine nib. And the fine nib, and we'll check a little wetness there. And this pen is wet. And a little bit of writing. And then I'm going to post it just because I can. We'll do a few swirls. And we'll do some wetness on it. And you get a little bit of wetness. Nice pen, smooth, not scratchy, doesn't tear up the paper. We'll do some upside down. And as you see for yourself with your own eyes, this pen writes incredibly well with no problems upside down. Alright, this pen right here costs $2.04. Not bad for a decent pen. And last but not least, the Jinhao 750. Beautiful black pen with your stainless steel hardware, pull off cap, and I'm just going to go ahead and post it. With your Goulet medium nib. X750 with a medium black nib. Outstanding pen, outstanding nib. I like it. This pen is nice and wet. Look at that. Wet. We'll do a few little S's. And we'll do some writing. Wet and wet. Writes really well. I really like this pen. Now we'll go upside down. It's a bit scratchy. It's supposed to be a P. But you can get some different line variation with this pen. Just look at it. Here is the medium right there. Medium. Now for the upside down, you can get a different line variation to a fine, or maybe even an extra fine. So, but there is a bit of feedback on there, some scratchiness. But it does work. So, and again for wetness, as we all know, you just seen it, nice and wet. And I'm using Probably Reserve Electric DC Blue. So, this pen, I'm sorry, the pen, you can get it for $4 and up, depending. The nib, I believe from Goulet's, they're either 15 or 18 bucks, somewhere in that way, or even 20 maybe, I'm not sure. But well worth the money for the nib. And I bought this nib from Goulet probably back, could have been in 16, I believe. Somewhere in there. So, there you have it. Back to you thinkers. I hope this video kind of helps you think of what direction you want to go. It's a very important step to make. But I think once you make that step and find a fountain pen to your liking and that you're comfortable with, I think then you'll start to feel that passion and love for the fountain pen kick in. But I strongly suggest to start off with a lower end pen to make sure that you're going to like the pen so you won't be out much money. You don't have to start out with these pens. You can choose any pen you want. But that's entirely up to you, your decision. Now for you newbies, I would recommend any one of these 3 pens. I would recommend the Goulet nib. I have other goulet nibs and other pens that I will introduce to thinkers and newbies, as well as Anderson nibs, as well as Heinz nibs, and even some Knox nibs. I don't have any Edison. Yes, I do. I have Edison 1.5, but I don't have any other Edison nibs. Or no extra fine, medium, broad, blah, blah, blah. So I won't be showing any of those. Well, that's going to wrap up this video. I hope you newbies and thinkers out there got something out of it. I hope this really, really helped you guys, because that's what I'm all about. I want to help you guys. I want to get something back to the fountain pen community. What little I know about fountain pens, I like to share it with you guys. But in my opinion, you can't go wrong. And remember, these are not flex pens. So if you're going to try to get some flex out of it, I wouldn't recommend it, because you could spring the times. And there goes your nib. So I've said this before and I'll say it again. I don't care how much money you spend on a fountain pen. I don't care how darn glorious your fountain pen may look. It could be a $4,000, $3,000, $1,000 pen. More power to you. But if that nib, that's the heart, doesn't write that good, then in my opinion, I think you spent a lot of money for nothing. Because I expect a pen, especially for big bucks, to be really a nice, smooth writer. Well, that's going to wrap it up. So leave your comments below and share this post. Share this video with others. That would be a big help. That would be getting the word out. Until then, my friends, peace and love to all. And thank you for being a subscriber to Larry's Fountain Pens. I'll have more for thinkers and newbies later. God bless. Later, guys.